everyone, my name's Amy. If you're new, welcome to my channel, and if not, welcome back. This week, my major project was to clean out and restock this monstrosity. I am a little embarrassed to show this because I've been struggling with motivation and feeling overwhelmed when it comes to cleaning, especially the things that have gotten really out of hand, which is a lot of things right now. Even though I am middle-aged, I am new to being solely a homemaker, and I'm finding it really overwhelming and difficult, and having a lot of confidence issues. I always thought that I would find homemaking much less difficult than working a full-time job, but I'm actually finding it more difficult. And being self-motivated has always been a struggle for me, so I am taking things in steps. I'm making small goals within larger goals, and being very understanding with myself when I'm having a tough time with something. And some yucky spills. Yup, the outside is terrifying too. Anyway, cleaning this nightmare fridge. I started by unloading everything in the fridge so I could see the entirety of the mess. All in all, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, so that's a happy thought. I'm using a vinegar and water solution to clean everything since I don't want cleaning product in my fridge that's not food safe. I started the actual cleaning by scrubbing out the middle drawer. This is where we normally keep and thaw meats since it prevents any cross-contamination. It was also a smaller space than the entire fridge, so having it clean was like reaching a little goal on the way to my big goal, so it kind of felt like a little win. Don't you just love those little wins that add up to a really big win in the end? And yeah, you could say, well, it's just wiping out a fridge, but you know, sometimes even wiping out a fridge is a big deal, especially if someone's having a tough time. I think we should always be proud of our little wins, like getting up, wiping out a fridge. The big win in the end, even if it's just a clean refrigerator, is just such a tonic when you're feeling stressed and overwhelmed. Even something small can make a really big difference. I was very particular about getting any crumbs or buildup out of the seal. That drawer has not looked that bright and clean in a while. It is so satisfying to see. Now on to the big fridge. I took it in stages, just going a shelf at a time, starting at the top, so I didn't have to redo anything I already wiped down. Then came the drawers. Anyone else always worried that you'll crack the drawer trying to get it out, or is it just me? When they were out and not cracked or broken, yay, I wiped out everything that has been living in the bottom of that fridge. Luckily, it was mostly crumbs, nothing really caked on. I scrubbed out the drawers. While I was at it, I got all the door shelves cleaned up too and got everything reinstalled in the fridge. And I almost forgot to wipe the doors off before putting the shelves back in. So I made sure that both doors were wiped down nice and clean before reinstalling my nice and clean shelves. I definitely do not want to put a clean shelf on a dirty door. This fridge is ridiculous now. It is so clean and shiny. No more crumbs, no more sticky spills, or food in the seals, which is awesome. It is just fabulous. Now, to move on to the explosion on the counters. I have all the stuff that was in the fridge already, and also an absolute ton of groceries. I broke this down into sections to keep myself sane. I started with the cheese. It's been in this container, and it keeps everything contained, but it also ends up just being a pile of cheese. It's difficult to get to the things on the bottom. So I got this container on Amazon to hopefully help me wrangle the cheese, and I'll link it in the description for reference. I like that it has adjustable sections. It's so much easier to get to everything. Next was the eggs, just to get those things back in the fridge. I did the doors next. Since most of these stayed relatively the same, just clean. The next little section was the sauces and condiments that don't fit on the doors and are constantly all over the place in there. I got these little containers and put things in them by type, I guess you could say, like soy sauce, oyster sauce, fish sauce in one, sweet stuff like jams and maple syrup in another. Now they can happily live on the top shelf and stay all in one place. Now on to that produce. This was where I started to get some decision fatigue and began getting a little overwhelmed, so my husband helped me figure out what stuff fit the best in which container. Some was a no-brainer like the asparagus, but the peppers were just everywhere, and some were bigger than the containers, so yeah, I asked for help. Now here is the final product. We moved the eggs up top and put the cheese in one of the drawers, which has been much more convenient. So many peppers! And they made amazing fajitas and burritos too, so I'm really not complaining. We had to put a little bit of produce in the meat drawer, just overflow really, but adding the containers kept everything nicely separated, and we made sure to use this produce first down here. This project did take me a few hours, and I did need to ask for some help toward the end, but the result is so satisfying, and it just looks so amazing. I also did a little bulk prep this week by making meatballs for the freezer. I started with a 5-pound log of ground beef and added 3 eggs as a binder, a few good shakes of Worcestershire sauce, some breadcrumbs for filler since my husband really likes that, salt, pepper, oregano, and some garlic and onion powder for seasoning. I made a whole bunch of meatballs and baked them in the oven at 350 Fahrenheit until they were at 165 degrees on the thermometer, around 20 to 30 minutes. I let them cool completely, bagged them up, and put them in the freezer. They are great for spaghetti, meatball subs, soups, tons of stuff really. I also made sandwich bread this week, a recipe I've never tried and which I'll add in the description. I, of course, forgot to film it, but I followed the recipe exactly, and I figured I could share what we made with it. We've got a peanut butter and strawberry jam sandwich, a chicken sandwich. We made BLTs, and these were amazing. Some yummy toast with breakfast, and the pièce de résistance, the grilled cheese sandwich. It was awesome. I was very busy this week. I also made our favorite white chicken chili in my Dutch oven. It can also be made in a slow cooker. It needs 3 large chicken breasts, 2 cups of chicken stock or broth, a small can of green chilies, 2 of the 14-ounce cans of Great Northern beans or any white bean like cannellini, 2 14-ounce cans of corn, although I'm using a big 29-ounce can here, 1 white chicken chili seasoning packet, 8 ounces of cream cheese cubed up, and 8 ounces of pepper jack cheese shredded. Salt and pepper are optional to taste, as is the small can of pickled jalapenos. This thing is as dump and go as it gets. Spray your Dutch oven or slow cooker with cooking spray and just dump everything in. You even want the liquid from the can, so no draining anything. I also added some additional garlic and onion powder, although that's optional. Stir it all up and cook it covered in the oven at 350 Fahrenheit for about an hour. If using a slow cooker, you'll want to cook this for 6 to 8 hours on low or 3 to 4 hours on high. When it's done, remove the chicken from the pot, and as you can see, it's already starting to fall apart. You'll see here that the chili has not fully incorporated yet, but that's completely normal. While the chicken is out of the pot, use a whisk and gently stir the chili. The sauce should come together very quickly and look like a chowder. Shred the chicken, put it back in the pot, stir it all up, and decide then if you like the consistency. If it's a little too thin, make a cornstarch slurry of 1 tablespoon cornstarch and 1 tablespoon cold water, well mixed, and then add that to the pot. The chili should be hot enough that the slurry will start thickening very quickly, but if not, just throw it back in the oven or give a few more minutes in the slow cooker until it thickens up. As you can see here, we like ours thick and hearty like a stew or even a creamy chowder. We serve this with crunchy tortilla chips, and we have a really difficult time eating only one bowl. The spice is sort of medium if you add the jalapenos, or mild if you don't. This is our absolute favorite thing. The garden update this week is cantaloupe. I ordered seeds from one of those heirloom seed places and nothing would germinate no matter how many times I tried. So we took a couple of chunks of innards of a cantaloupe we bought at the store and threw them in the ground. And now I have so many I have to get rid of most of them. But hey, cantaloupe! We went and bought some supplies for the beginning of the outdoor kitchen area, some 2x4s and cement board. We are starting to block out the shape and the size of the area. Here's just a little preview. I wanted to thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you have a wonderful week and that you come back and spend time with me again next week. Bye!